Hello and welcome to Patch Logic Workshop. Today we'll be installing and setting up PyCharm IDE with assistance of Claude Code. Let's get started by asking Claude how to set up PyCharm on a Mac Mini. While we're waiting for that process, let's search PyCharm on Google and start the download. Go to JetBrains site, accept the cookies and select download. For my Mac Mini, the Apple Silicon version is correct. Now with download started, let's read the instructions from Claude. I may not follow them too closely at the beginning as I've done this setup a few times now. But it's going to be download and install Python interpreter via Homebrew, configure the interpreter, settings worth adjusting, useful plugins, and GitHub integration. The download has finished, so let's drag it into the application and open the app. Accept the EULA, choose your data sharing preferences, and decide on your local network sharing permission. I'm going to skip the tour and clean up my desktop and adjust the screen size. Give me a second here. Let's check for updates quickly by selecting the gear icon at the top of the page. I'm going to enable auto updates and update these three. Now let's start a new project for the robot builds. Let's start with OG Robot. There cannot be spaces, so let's add an underscore here and create. Now let's configure the IDE. There is a few paths to this, but let's start by going to New Project Setup, Settings for New Project, then select the plus to install new packages. But first let me pull up my notes with the packages we need, and let's paste these into Claude so Claude can guide. Actually, installing Python first is important, so let me ask for the instructions for how to do that as well. It looks like we're going to install Homebrew, then install Python, and then point Python to PyCharm. Let's open the terminal as that's where we'll install Homebrew. Then copy the line in Claude and paste it to the terminal and hit enter. Type your password. Notice you won't see any text or symbols come up in terminal. That's normal for passwords. Press enter to install. Then go back to Claude to copy paste the next step into the terminal. This adds Homebrew to your path. Then copy the brew install Python line and paste it into terminal. Do the same to update to the latest version. Copy from Claude, paste into terminal. Once that's complete, go back and see what needs to be done to point PyCharm at Python. It looks like there's a few notes here about Python on Mac, so let's scan that quickly to ensure we're good. It looks like the last step takes place in PyCharm, so let's go back to that application, File, New Project Setup, then select Add Interpreter. We're going to select Python 3.14 and OK, then OK. Now we're going to go to terminal within PyCharm and pip install the packages in my note. Let's try OpenAI. Actually, it should be pip install OpenAI, but let's make this easier and ask Claude. So I'm going to copy from my list and paste into Claude. Then let's paste the results into the terminal in Python. This is going to take a minute to install. While we're waiting, I'm going to grab the robot Python file I have saved in my files. I'm going to drag and drop it into the OG robot folder in my PyCharm project. Now let's copy and paste the last line from Claude to the terminal to verify everything landed. Then I'll use my Command plus A in terminal to select all and copy with Command plus C, paste it into Claude, and let's see what Claude says. Claude says we're good to go, but it does look like there's an error that popped up on my end, so let's copy that and paste that back to Claude and see if it's anything important. Looks like we're good to go, but the OG project is running on the wrong version of Python. So let's fix that by asking Claude how to update Python in this situation. And again, we'll copy and paste the bash lines from Claude to terminal. Something looks off here, so let's ask Claude to validate this is right. Okay, let's try this again without the comment outlines. That's the lines with the hashtags. Oh, it looks like it might be working. Let's let it run. And let's verify that we're on the correct version of Python now. It looks like we are, but terminal is telling us to upgrade pip. So let's do that while we're here too. Now let's use Claude to validate that we did this correctly by selecting all from the terminal and copying and pasting it back into Claude. Last step is to update PyCharm. So let's make sure we're in PyCharm, go to settings, new project settings, setting for new projects. Then select the project from the drop-down menu. This doesn't seem right. So let's take a screenshot and ask Claude. Claude says to add interpreter and local interpreter existing and set path. I'll do this manually. Then OK and apply. Okay, let's check to see it's working as expected. I forgot to start the recording from the last session, so let me walk through what happened. I ran the robot OGV3 file I dropped in earlier. It has errors, so I copied and pasted that into Claude. It looks like there was a hard-coded port from the other computer, so let's update that. In terminal, we'll paste the code and find the port. Then I'll copy and paste that new port to the code above. Next, we'll download the Vosk model using the code Claude provided. It will take a bit of time for that to download. Then we'll have to update the port and file paths for all those items as this is on a different computer. We also need to set up a new secret key for OpenAI. I'll do most of this offline as it's a secret, but Claude will walk you through the step-by-steps as you can see in the instructions here. Now that I have my secret key set up, let's run the script. So first we'll go to the Arduino IDE and run that file. It's been verified. Now let's go to PyCharm and let's run the Python file for the robot. We can see everything loaded and the robot is ready. Hello, robot. Tell me a joke.
Sure. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. Isn't that a great play on words?
Yes, it is. I had a bad day.
Yes.
I had a bad day.
I'm really sorry to hear that. Would you like to share more about what happened? I'm here to listen.
Not tonight. Thank you for telling me a joke. Have a good night.
No.
No? Why? Good night, robot.
Good night. Sleep tight and have sweet dreams.
Goodbye, robot.
Goodbye. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you for joining Patch Logic Workshop. Let's build some robots together.